The Sony A6000, a mirrorless camera that was released in 2014. Why are we talking about it today? Well, it's important. It's either going to be the topic of discussion or recording the topic of discussion. Since its release in 2014, the A6000 has been hailed as one of the best, if not the best, mirrorless cameras relative to price and availability. Major features include a small design relative to DSLR cameras, 11 FPS continuous shooting, where I have achieved a full 2 seconds of shooting, and the all-glorious autofocus that is unbelievably fast and comprehensive, with drawbacks being its low light performance and low resolution viewfinder. Unfortunately, in photography, the camera body is only half of the equation. You can't take a picture without a lens, and without the right lens, you can't get your autofocus either. The camera is feature-rich, but what happens when we take those features away and make it perform like its grandfather, the film camera? How well will it stack up then? If you're looking for a normal review of this camera, there are already plenty of great ones already available. I'm going to review the bare essentials and make it perform like a film camera. What can I do to make it perform like a film camera? Well, I will shoot in manual mode. So I will control the aperture and shutter speed, but I will pin the ISO at 400 for daytime and to be determined for nighttime photography, to best mimic what kind of film would be used. Next, I will only use single shooting, so no burst shots. I have turned the back screen off in the picture review so I can't see the picture I just took. Finally, I will only use manual focus lenses. The only modern feature I will use is focus peaking, which highlights everything that is in focus since the camera does not have a focusing aid built into the viewfinder as some film cameras do. So here's my film review of a digital camera. So I've come here to Veterans Oasis Park here in Chandler, Arizona to take my pictures. As a riparian preserve, there's plenty of wildlife, plants, anything for me to take pictures of. Granted, I only have, I think, 33 shots that I can take during the daytime now because I took a few at home. So now that I'm armed with my camera bag and tripod, let's go do this. This is why digital is so much better than film. Right now I'm pegged at one ISO of 400. I can't change it because I'm trying to replicate film here. I'm trying to get this long exposure shot to get the water all nice and soft. But I don't think I'm going to be able to achieve that. I'll just take what I can get. So I've walked all the way across the park, so I'm about halfway done. I've been mostly focusing on wildlife, but I think on the way back I'm going to switch lenses to a shorter focal length and shoot more nature, flowers, trees, maybe still get a few more animals if I see them. So far I think everything has been working out great for it. I feel like I've been getting everything in focus so far, but I don't know, I haven't looked at the pictures yet. But that's what it's just like to shoot with film. So the sun is high and hot and washing out all my colors, but I've got all 35 exposures done. I'd like to say everything has went well. This camera so far has performed beautifully as far as I can tell. I haven't looked at the pictures yet, so now it's time to take some night pictures. Alright, so my day photography went very well. So here I'm at in kind of a downtown Old Town Mesa on top of a parking garage right now, but I'm going to make my way down there. I'm going to set my ISO at 200. I believe that'll give me the best all-around pictures. So let's go take some more pictures. Well, it's the next day and everything went great. Looking back through my pictures, I did a lot better than I ever thought I would. While doing this film review of a digital camera, I found it to be very challenging, which I really liked, thus resulting in a more satisfying pictures at the end. The camera did perform as it should. It's still a phenomenal camera, even though by handicapping it, it's not going to make that big of a difference to the image quality, as long as I get a good overall picture. I do have one confession. With these milk-styled cameras, the mirrorless interchangeable lens camera, in the viewfinder, you see what the image sensor sees. So as you change the ISO, aperture, shutter speed, the picture that you see in the viewfinder changes to give you a rough idea of what the picture is actually going to look like. So unfortunately it's not fully like a SLR camera where the image just pretty much stays the same. So if you are a person who's still holding out with film, maybe this camera could be your step foot into the digital realm. You can turn off a lot of the things that can make shooting digital, I guess, too easy. So those who still want a challenge, like you can get with film, this camera can do it, but you still have a lot of the creature comforts of having a digital camera. One picture that I did take was of this canal, and I wanted to have it just like long and straight and narrow, but I couldn't get down into the canal to take the picture. And so I just kind of held my camera at a position that I thought it would look good, and then hit the shutter button. Unfortunately, I missed it altogether, and I just took a picture of water. So having the screen on the back would have helped a lot. At the end of the video, I'm going to put all the pictures I took, so you could just scrub through them and just see exactly what I did. But before that, we're going to kind of critique some pictures that I did take. Here's a picture of a dragonfly I took. I took this freehand with a 200mm lens. Almost a little overexposed, but still a great picture for an amateur who has very little experience shooting photography in general. So here's a blown out picture of some ducks I was trying to shoot. This is the problem with trying to shoot everything in manual. You don't really have time to shoot, especially wildlife, and adjust all the settings and get a good shot. I saw these birds take off, and I just kind of pulled the trigger, and this is what I was left with. So this is a situation where having a digital camera with not everything set to auto, but perhaps ISO and aperture, and this would have been probably a phenomenal picture. Another benefit of having a digital camera is a lot of lenses have image stabilization in them. So me taking a picture of this Roadrunner here would have been great with a digital camera with optical stabilization, but since these lenses don't have it, I lost the image due to its fuzziness. Now this is an image I'm actually proud of. Everything fell right into place for me to take this image. I got the right aperture and shutter speed. Everything's great. And I also did this freehand. These flowers looked absolutely stunning and very, very true to life. So it is not impossible to get great images while shooting like film. This is something more of an artsy bokeh picture I took. When I put the lens on and looked through the viewfinder, it was completely out of focus, but this is what I saw, and so I took a picture of it because it looked really nice. This is another picture I feel like I nailed. There is some glaring in the upper left-hand corner of it because I actually took this picture through a window. Now here's a picture that could have been great if I decided to use a tripod. That is one thing in night photography that you have to use, and I really underutilized it. The picture is almost perfect, but you could still see a little bit of fuzz to it because with these longer exposures, anything longer than, let's say, 1/10 of a second, movement is really noticed, and especially without these optically stabilized lenses. Another picture that I feel looks really nice, if you were to throw a nice filter on this, it would be spectacular. Unfortunately, my framing is kind of off with the flowers on the right, so it could be a little bit better. That's just one thing to make sure of, is that what you're taking a picture of is fully in the frame. This image is trash, overexposed and not in the frame correctly. But this ties into what I was talking about earlier with the viewfinder only seeing what the sensor sees. When you get above a, let's say I think it's a 3 or 4 second exposure, it doesn't change in the viewfinder. So a 30-second exposure looks very, very close to a 4-second exposure, which can result in some funny looking things in the viewfinder, which kind of gives you a false sense of security. Well, that's everything I got today. Like I said, if you want a camera that can give you the challenge of film, but kind of move towards the digital age, this is the camera for you. And if you liked what you saw, please leave a like and perhaps subscribe. There's going to be more videos like this in the future, but not always about photography. And like I said, all the pictures I took, I'm just going to put in one long lump at the end.